Rockstar Real Estate Agents. My name is Tiffany Fortenberry and I'm one of the owners at Prestige Title of Brevard. We're proud to be the sponsor of the Rockstar Real Estate Series for the second year in a row. As a family-owned and operated business, we are dedicated to providing service you can trust through every aspect of your transaction. We thank you for your business over the last 16 years and we look forward to continuing to serve our Brevard County Realtors.
Just in case you don't know Mitch Ribak, I just wanted to introduce him formally. I've worked with Mitch for 19 years. Can you believe that? Wow. And I have hair. Anyway, Mitch and I worked together in his independent real estate brokerage, Tropical Realty of Suntree, and then we opened Tropical Realty Beachside. We had 120 realtors in those offices. And then about 7 years ago, we merged over to eXp Realty. And now Mitch has an organization of 2,200 agents across the nation, and I think in 7 countries. And he's taught, he's had his own real estate online network business. He's had his own inside sales agents business. I think he's had 23 businesses altogether. The very first one, which was actually a dating business, the first online dating business. Imagine Mitch giving you dating advice.
I'm really good at it.
No, he's a really good listener. He's a very good listener. Anyway, so his goal is to help agents grow, and that's why we do these. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to see so many people attend and have the ability to give back. So we're really grateful for Mitch to be doing this, and I'm going to hand it over to him. He's going to be talking about lead generation for sale by owners, which he's very well versed on.
Got it. All right. I will guarantee you at some point I will trip over this wire because we have wires. Don't know what wires are anymore, right? All right, so just I always like to do this before I speak places. Tell me just by hands, how many people have been in the business for more than 5 years? Okay. Less than a year. Less than 22 months, 4 days, 3 hours. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit of basics first because I think it's really important before I get into the stuff. And I'm going to try to keep mine to a half an hour, which usually means about 2 hours. And you know, I've been training realtors for 20 years all over North America and US and Canada. And there's one constant I find with almost everybody is nobody builds a foundation for their business. So we're going to talk about that this morning because I think, it's afternoon, whatever time it is today. But the reality is you know, I just opened my 24th and 25th business in the last 44 years. I have to keep adding a year every year, but I keep forgetting. I said the last 35 years, like for 10 years. But anyways, but the one constant in every business I've ever owned is you build a foundation. And what is a foundation? Who's my customer? Where's my customer? Because I'll ask people what business are we in, and nobody ever gets it right. They're like, we're in the people business, we're in the relationship business. No, we're not. You're in the lead generation business. So if you have no leads, you don't build relationships, right? So, I mean, that's the basics. So we're going to talk real quick. And my clicker's in my other bag, so I don't have my clicker with me, so just deal with me when I do this because I don't know what the heck I'm doing on this thing. Give me 1 second, because this is not what I was looking for. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong place. Give me a second. There we go. There we are. All right. So everybody take out your phone. Everybody, come on. Everybody, take out your phone. And I'm going to show you how to build your foundation in 5 easy lessons. All right, I want you to look at your phone, and I know the iPhone how to do it. I don't know how to do it on a Android because they're Androids to me. But the iPhone, if you go into your contacts, if you have a 15, you're going to scroll to the left. Like I have a 15. I just figured this out the other day. There's a button that says List, and it'll tell you how many contacts you have. I have 2,204. If you don't have that, if you have a 14 or less, scroll all the way to the bottom and then look at the number. Just yell out the numbers that you have in your phone. 2229. 2229. 1105. 3000. Wow. 3000. Yeah. She's so popular. What else? Come on, give me some more. 1661. All right. Excellent. So everybody so far has over 1,000. Now, I'm sure some of you have less. But I want to give you the number. This is not my number. This is the National Association of Realtor number. 7 out of 100 contacts are going to buy or sell a home this year. So we'll use Denise. She had 3,000 people in her phone, right? She has 210 sales sitting in her phone this year.
Wow.
These are real numbers, guys. And nobody takes the time to actually do this. So we're going to go over, the first thing we're going to go over is understanding how to work this and set it up into a systemized place so you actually generate sales. The other thing about marketing, and I've been doing marketing, I've had marketing companies, I've had ad agencies, I've had pretty much everything you can think of, paintball businesses, restaurants, hair transplant clubs.
Not only the president.
Not only the president, yeah. The young people don't know what that means. But anyways, so I want you to really do the work, because if you don't do the work, I can't fix that. Like, I can fix anybody, but the only thing I can't fix in this business is people doing the work. And I have people come to me all the time, every single day. Well, I'm not doing well in real estate. Who's struggling right now? Be honest. All right. So, I mean, some people are. And so 99% is mental. And the other 1% is because you didn't set up any systems to stay busy when the market changes. Markets are always going to shift. They're going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to go. It doesn't matter. I tell people when we had Tropical Realty, when the market crashed, and it actually started crashing here in 2006, we had about 100 listings that hadn't sold, and the consumers were yelling at me because the agents stopped answering the phones, because that's what you guys do when consumers stop yelling at you. You go talk to the broker. But you know, I can handle it. But we stopped taking listings in 2006. And everybody I talk to, you're going to go out of business. I go, no, I'm not. I have all this inventory. I don't care if it's bread, water, listings on the shelf, and they're not selling. I've got to find the people that are going to buy this stuff on the shelf. So we became a buyer brokerage for 4 years. And we became the #1 buyer brokerage in the county by far. And every broker in town was calling me up saying, Mitch, please sell our listing, because nobody's selling it. Back then, just so for your new people, we had 11,000 single-family listing homes in 2010. Right now, we have 2,500, just to give you the difference in what the market was like back then. But my point is, I made adjustments because I'm a business guy. And I want you guys to start thinking as business people. Here's what I hear all the time. I want to be really, really good at my job. Is that what you have? If you built a job, then you didn't build a business, right? If you're not systemizing your business, you don't have a business. If you got sick today and couldn't work and your business does not continue, you don't have a business. And I get people yelling. I talked to an agent the other day, sells 100 homes a year. He goes, I can't believe you tell me I don't have a business. I have an amazing business. I go, you have a shitty business. You have a crappy business, sorry. I get yelled at when I swear. Where's Pat? Oh, she wasn't in the room. This is, hi, Pat. I love you. But what he did is he built a really crappy business. He didn't build a business. He built a crappy job, rather. Right? A really good business is sustainable, predictable. Like, I knew when I had Tropical Realty within 10% every single year of my sales. And I was right every single time, because I remember I run businesses. All right, so first thing, you all have in your phone 1,000 plus people, 500 plus people. I want you to separate them into, and we're only going to talk about one list today, because there's a lot longer to go on this. I want you to export all those people, right? And you can do that on your phone, export them onto a spreadsheet. And I want you to put everybody that is in your service area. Now, some people, like Robert and I are talking, he goes to Orlando, right? Nikki goes to Vero Beach. I mean, wherever your service area is, right? And I want you to put them in a list. Now, here's where everybody fails. You need their email addresses, right? Because you don't have the email, because we're going to give you a 2 email a month programming, which is amazing. It works phenomenal if you do it consistently, because marketing is about consistency, which equals sales. So you're going to go on your phone, and you're going to put in your little notes section this little message I'm going to give you, and you're going to say, hi, Bill, paste. Hi, Tom, paste. And all you're saying is, hi, Bill, I'm updating my contact list. What's your email address? Really difficult. Right? And I want you to do that over the next month or 2 weeks or whatever. One of my agents that I coach in Orlando, she had 1,200 contacts. She was able to get 800 email addresses out of that. So it's there. So we know that number is pretty consistent, about 65%, if you actually do the work. This is building your foundation. Again, you have to have a business that's predictable. Why'd you put vodka in my thing? Oh, sorry. Because I'm much more, I look much better when I drink. Anyway, so That's the first part of this, is put them into a spreadsheet. And then once you're done with that, and by the way, if anybody needs help with this, reach out to me. I'll help you. Everybody knows I'm here. I help everybody. You're going to put them into a program called MailChimp or Constant Contact. Those are your two programs. We use those programs, and we don't put them in the CRM yet. So a lot of people will stick all those people in the CRM. Once your CRM gets more than 100, 150 people, you're never going to work your CRM. And we've seen it over and over the years as agents will put 1,000 people in their CRM. They look at their CRM and go, huh, huh, huh. And then they're done, right? They don't work it. And we found when I'm known as the godfather of internet lead conversion, and the stuff that we did for our agents back, throughout the 2000s was, we saw once their database got more than 500 people or 1,000 people, their conversion rates went down dramatically. It's overwhelming. So I've tried to make this as simple as possible. You keep everything in MailChimp or Constant Contact. I like MailChimp. And a couple things happen there. It shows you the stats. It shows you who's actually looking at your emails. Right? So you know what percentage of people, what people looked at it, so you know who you can talk to. I don't put them into and I'll tell you the messaging in a minute, I don't put them into the CRM until they raise their hand, that they're interested in buying or selling. Your CRM should be less of a nurture tool and more of these are my people that are looking to buy or sell in the next 3 to 6 months. All right? Makes life a lot easier than sticking everybody in. Nobody teaches it this way. Everybody says, well, download all your stuff into your CRM. And I've just trained so many people, and I've seen so many people fail miserably doing that. All right, so you're going to create 2 emails per month. If you email me, I will send you the templates. My email is mitch@mitchrealty.com. Pretty tough, right? And there's 2 emails that go out per month. And the board sends every month, and if you're with my group, I send this to you too. The board sends every month the market updates, right? You guys get it from the board every month. These are how many homes have sold. This is all the stuff that's gone on. So the board sends it every month. So here's your messaging, the first one that goes out. And this is consistent. Every month this has to go. One of the things I like to do, and again, I'll send you the template if you email me so you don't have to write it down, but you can write it down if you want. One of the things I do for my friends and family is keep them updated on the local market. Below are the stats for last month. Boom, copy, paste. This is really hard, huh? Copy, paste in there, and then you end with this. This is the most important part. As you know, as a realtor, I work by referral only, and I could really, really use your help. If you know someone looking to buy or sell a home, could you send me their contact info? Now, notice what I did there. I'm asking for the contact info of the person looking to buy or sell. What most realtors will do is they'll say, hey, Glenn, if you know somebody looking to buy or sell, give them my contact info. I am not the most important person in Glenn's life. I like to think so, but not. And so you ask for the contact info. Now you call them and say, hey, Bill, my friend Glenn gave me a number. He said you're looking to buy a house. It's a referral. It's the easiest thing in the world. But if you're waiting for people to give you business, we call that reactive, right? Reactive realtors sit there and wait for the phone to ring. You know what happens? The phone don't ring. The phone ain't ringing. So you be proactive and you build a business instead of just a reactive job versus a proactive business. All right, so that's email number 1. And then, by the way, you only need to come up with about 6 subjects for that one. So, for instance, it might be, being in real estate, I know lots of vendors. If you need a plumber, electrician, or whatever, please reach out. I've vetted all these people. And by the way, here are the stats for last month. Boom, copy, paste, and then end the exact same way. As you know, as a realtor, I work by referral only, blah, blah, blah. Everybody get that? This is so easy, by the way. Oh, but let me ask you a question. And if you've already heard this before, don't answer. Why do you think people use you as a realtor?
They like you.
Because they like you.
They trust you.
They trust you.
Front of them when they want to buy a car.
You see me speak, you're not supposed to say that. They only use you. So I've broken this down to so easy stuff. Yes, so I've sold 1,000 homes, probably about 950 different customers. And I can count on my 2 hands how many people are loyal to me. Right? The stat is 88% of consumers will use their realtor again. Only 11% do. Right? 88%. So yeah, I'll use my realtor. Mitchell's great. And then what happens? I don't talk to him for 3 or 4 years, which I don't, and because I suck at this, don't do what I do. I never do what I do, by the way. I did everything based on stupid jokes. But the reality is it's whoever they happen to be in front of, right? Everybody knows 20 of us. Does everybody know 20 realtors? We're like cockroaches. We're everywhere, right? We're everywhere. I don't care where you go. And by the way, they trust and like those people too. So what's the difference between me and Glenn? We have the same friends, I'm just picking on it because you're in front of me, Glenn. We have the same friends, and I happen to be in front of them twice a month, and Glenn hasn't talked to them in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year. Who are they going to use? 100%. Hey, see? He's having trouble hearing me. Glenn's always trying to pretend like he doesn't hear me. We just met last week for the first time, by the way. Some of our old best friends for years ago.
BFF.
Yeah, BFS. We played baseball together. He was the taller one. Anyways, so does that make sense? All right, so if you're not thinking like that, you're thinking wrong. Right? Nobody's using you because they like you and trust you. They're using you because you happen to be in front of them when they're thinking about buying or selling. That's it. Right? How could I, when I got the business, I sold 36 homes my first year without knowing one person here. Hi, how are you, honey? How could I do that? Because I was everywhere. My wife used to make a joke. She'd been here her whole life since she was 12. And we'd walk into the mall. She goes, how long is it going to take before someone says, hey, Mitch? I go, 30 seconds. It was always less. Because I was out there. And if you're sitting at home, who sits at home and does lots of social media? Come on, raise your hands. Get off the freaking computer, right? It's not, no one's knocking at your door at their house. Has anybody knocked at anybody's house and say, hey, sell my house for me? No, right? All right. So the second email that goes out 2 weeks later, so this is going out every other week consistently. So you're in front of them every other week for the rest of your life or their lives. The second one's really easy. One of the fun things I get to do for my friends and family is my top 10 things to do in Brevard County, because we're in Brevard. And you go online. This is, again, really difficult. Find 10 cool things to do in Brevard County. Put them in there. And then as you know, as a realtor, I work by referral only, and I could really, really use your help. If you know someone looking to buy or sell a home, could you send me their contact info? Is that quick enough? That's it. That is the basis of building a foundation. But it starts with, and I'll tell you where everybody fails, because I see it every day. You gotta get it from here. And they also have it on social media too. You know, lots of friends on Facebook that are local people too. You have lots of people. Now, some people don't, and we create another list for that. Those are out of area people. It's with different messaging. I would make an extra 25, and I didn't put it up there, but I would make an extra 25, 30 grand a year by calling my friends in Boston and saying, hey, one of the things I've learned about realtors is they're not all created equal. And picking the wrong realtor could really cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So if you know someone looking to buy or sell a home, let me find their realtor for them. And I would get referral fees. So if you're from another area and you have a lot of contacts, that same girl I was talking to in Orlando I'm talking about, she's got 300 of her 800 people in Wisconsin. So she set up a referral business on the side. Now I had to make phone calls because we didn't have all the great tools you have right now with MailChimp and Constant Contact and all the email systems we have. We didn't have that, so I had to pick up the phone and do it. By the way, picking up the phone and calling your database of people is the best way to do this. But I know you're not going to, so I'm teaching you other ways to do it. I don't mean that in a mean way. I don't do it. I'm just as bad as you guys. All right. Any questions on that? It's consistency. So again, multiple subjects. One will be just introducing it. Another will be vendors. One will be, have you ever been curious about the homes in your neighborhood, what's going on in the market there? Set them up in listing updates. Those are all people raising their hand, and then you stick them in your CRM. Okay? Any questions on that? No foundation, no business.
Question.
Yes.
So you put them in the CRM after they respond
Mhm.
to your email, or that they're opening up your email?
Yes. Yes, I only put people in the CRM who actively raise their hand, or else you have a whole cluttered CRM of people that aren't buying. Now, I know there's lots of tags and all this stuff to keep your CRMs organized, but again, most people don't do them correctly. So if you're not, what's the best CRM you use? The one you actually use, right? We all heard that line a million times. Okay, so next, open houses. So open houses to me are gold. I told you I sold 36 homes my first year, 28 were from open houses. And I'm just going to give you a couple of basic points on here. And all these things, by the way, are hour classes I'm doing in 10 minutes. First of all, do the same house every week. I see people all the time hopping around from house to house to house. All of my listings came in the same neighborhood I did all my open houses. I had 8 listings my first 2 years, all came from my open houses. So you are being interviewed, right? Don't dress like a schmuck. Don't be stupid, right? Go in there and be smiley, happy, have fun, easy stuff. Don't advertise. Nobody buys this on me, no one believes this on me, but I've done so many studies on it that I know I'm right, because of course I'm right. And when I get through the whole program, you'll understand, I don't advertise ever open houses, because when I advertise an open house, I am now stuck there for the entire time. And my goal is to find a buyer and get the hell out of there. right? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. I always pick, so I just use lots of signs. I always did 20, 30 signs, right? And that drives plenty of traffic. We did a study on it once because one of my agents fought me on it. I said, look, I'm going to advertise every way you can possibly advertise an open house. And we're going to ask everybody who came in where they came in from. 9 out of the 10 people that came in that day came in from signs. Right? I mean, I've done that test many times, but that was just the last one I did. So I got to keep looking at my notes because I keep forgetting this stuff. All right, so I want to make sure you pick 2 homes. This is where all the magic comes. 2 homes that are vacant within a 5 or 10 minute drive that are the same price range. Right? And you'll find if you have to go a little further out, that's okay. And I'm going to walk you through the conversations when people come in the door because words are the most important part of what I do. Firstly, I learned how many people do open houses? Right, everybody, right? It's the best way to get leads. All right, so everybody asks the same question. Are you working with a realtor, right? Who asked that question? Well, you know, the ones that I'm raising didn't ask that question, or you saw me speak before. You never ever ask them, are you working with a realtor? You say, which realtor in town are you working with? Completely different response rate. Basically, 90% say yes when you ask if they're working with a realtor. 90% don't have a realtor when you ask them which realtor in town are you working with. It was a game changer for me. The other reason why I stopped advertising, by the way, I remember having a guy came in. I would do 10 to 4. My open houses 10 to 4. And well, if you're going to work. The 2-hour open houses is why are you doing that? Like stay home and watch TV. Eat bonbons. Bonbons are good. I don't know what bonbons are. I don't know what they are. But anyways, you know, it was all about engaging. It was all about trying to, help people when they walk in the door. But this guy walks in at 10 o'clock, 10:15, I think it was. I go, hey, do you want to look at houses when I'm done? I get off at 4. And he goes, sure, that'd be great. I go, I'll meet you at the office because we didn't have wireless everything back then. And I sound like I'm old. Back in 2001 when I was but we walked all the way up the hill. Oh, there's no hills there. That was a speed bump. But anyway, so I lost my train of thought. I hate when I do that. All right, give me a second.
10 to 4.
Yes, 10 to 4, thank you. So of course I went to the office at 4 o'clock. He didn't show up. At least one person listens. He didn't show up. And I sat there, I go, that's my fault because I couldn't leave. So that was the last time I advertised an open house. So what I tell the owners, because I'm going to leave, or if I'm doing it for somebody else, because I know a lot of you do it for other people, is say my goal is to do from 10 to 4, but I might have an opportunity to do some showings. So I know I'll probably be there from at least 10 to 12, right? So now I have permission to leave, right? You want to set the expectation. I'm not going to be there all day long. My only goal of every single open house is to find one actual buyer. So now when they come out, so I've asked them which realtor in town they work with, and they're not working with anybody. Now they come looking around the house and I say, so what do you think about the house? And it's always the same story. Oh, it's nice. I go, is the one you're looking for? He goes, no, we're not quite looking for this. Is this the price range you're looking for? Yeah, it's price range. I go, well, I have 2 more homes around the corner that are for sale that I can show you if you'd like to take a look. Would you like to go take a look? 80%, and that's an actual number. 80% say yes. 80%. Now, what you do is you got to call the realtors for the other listing agents for the other homes and make sure that they give you permission to show the property during the day. Not as big a deal today. It was a little more challenging a year ago when showings were like every 5 seconds. They're not that much anymore. So it's pretty easy. Now, my only goal, there's a couple things when I'm with this person. So we get in my car. I always had a little be back in 30-minute sign. I put it on the door because people are going to come and see my signs and they're going to come, right? And I'm going to take them in my car, always. I know some people have a problem with that, if that's okay if you do, but I find you build a lot more relationship when they're sitting next to you. And my only goal is to not talk about real estate and make them love me. And it's really easy, look how lovable I am. It's really easy to be lovable, right? And I talk about their families. The one thing, I don't have a lot of superpowers. I have a couple. One is I build phenomenal relationships with people, and 2, I'm able to look at businesses and think about it differently than most people. It's the only thing I'm good at. I'm a terrible father, terrible grandfather, terrible husband, terrible friend. No, okay. No, I'm just kidding. But so when I'm with them, I'm asking things. So do you have kids? And I love when they have kids that are like 10, 11, 12 years old because they're my sweet spot. And I love when they have a boy. So does Billy play any sports? Oh, he plays baseball. I played baseball up until a few years ago. In fact, I just played at Fenway Park. How cool is that? And when's his next game? Oh, so Tuesday. I am calling Wednesday. Hey, how did Billy do at his game? changes the game. They will never use anybody else if you build those relationships based on personality, on emotion versus on just numbers on houses. So I don't talk about houses. But my only goal with those 2 homes is to find out if they're pre-approved and if they're buying now. I'm not shutting down my open house unless they're pre-approved and unless they're buying now. So if they've done those things, but on the second house, I'm going to say, you know, I got to be honest, I'm really not in the mood to do an open house today. I'd love to go show more homes. I love looking at homes. You want to look at more homes today? Again, the number was 80% of those people said yes. And that's how I sold so many homes from open houses. Anybody can do this, but you have to think different. You got to think more business-like. Don't think just like a regular realtor, because regular realtors aren't successful. They're not. I mean, I'm just being honest. 86% of realtors fail. Why do they fail? They don't build a foundation, and they don't think I have to generate leads every single day. I'll give you one more lead thing before I go to FSBOs, because I only got a couple more minutes left. Every single day, you should be adding to that list. Right? That list we talked about of your sphere from your phone. Every single day. So I'm going to give you again, I have all these secret sauces on how I do all this stuff. So I'm going to tell you how I do this. It's really tough. It took me years to figure this out. I've sold literally 2 or 3 dozen homes at Publix by doing what I'm going to tell you right now. So who does grocery shopping besides me? I love grocery shopping. Like 80-year-old women adore me. They're like, oh, you're so cute. Yeah, 25-year-olds, not so much anymore. But I love walking around. And I always, do you always go to the longest line or the shortest line? Who said longest? All right, a couple of people, excellent. So I always went to the longest line. Here's my pickup line for real estate. So I'll just be, how you doing today?
Good.
You know, every time I do a live demo, nobody does it right. like literally, nobody ever. I'm going to do it for it. So they always say, except when I do live demos, is, oh my day, they say great, good, and once in a blue moon you get their life sucks and then you're in trouble. But they'll say, usually they say, oh, like, good day, great day, how's your day? They always say, how's your day? Every single time, 100%. And I say, oh, I'm in the real estate business, crazy. Oh, you're in the real estate business, how's the market? Every single time, 100%. When I say 100, 99.64235%, I just round up. But the reality is, and then what I say to them is you know, I'll tell them a little bit about the market, but very little. And I'll say, one of the things I do for all my friends locally is I send them a market update every month. Would you like me to add you to the list? Almost everybody says yes, not everybody. I just added a new person. Your goal, think about these numbers. Your goal should be add one person 7 days a week. Right? One person every day, 7 days a week. At the end of the year, you have 365 new people in your MailChimp or Constant Contact account. What does that equal? 21 more sales. Okay. Does that understand all this? It does. It's not rocket science. All right. So we talked about open houses. We talked about that. We're going to talk about for sale by owners, and then I'm going to let Cameron speak, and we're going to take like a 5-minute break to do that. I just got to feel how to work this thing. I forgot my clicker. It's in my other bag. So, come on. There we go. All right, is anybody doing for sale by owners? Okay. So what I don't do is I never call people. I've been there before, and the phone calls that you get are nonstop, and they're, you should listen to me because I'm the best realtor in Brevard County. Yeah. It's the same line. Everybody says the same crap. So I can't deal with that. So I did this all, and everything I do, by the way, I do it by mistake. Like I built my open house programs by just trial and error. My FSBO program, same thing. So my FSBO program, I only tracked the last 12 that I did, and I had a 75% conversion on them, right, doing this system. So I always try to be different in everything I do, because if I'm like everybody else, I'm like everybody else. There's no difference. So I knock on doors, and I like knocking on doors because they're now in front of me, and they could yell at me, but there's this thing called breaking the pattern. And have anybody ever heard of the term breaking the pattern? It's a Tony Robbins thing. And it's really about, as soon as they open the door and I open up, my name is Mitch Ribak with eXp Realty, they're like, yo. And so here's what I do. Hey, my name is Mitch Ribak with eXp Realty. Before you say anything, I have no desire to list your house. Every time, they're like confused. They don't understand why I just said that. I go, but I want to make sure you don't get yourself in trouble. Do you have a seller's disclosure? Never. I've done this 100 times. I've never had one ever have a seller's disclosure. Did you realize that if you don't give your buyer a seller's disclosure, if something goes wrong with the house that you knew about, you are liable for up to 5 years? True story. They don't know that. Right? So immediately I'm saving them from self-destruction, right? Every single time I've done this, I've gotten invited to the house. Now, if they don't invite you to the house, say, hey, can I come and take a look? They want to show you their house, right? So you walk around and you do it just like you're in a listing appointment. Just walk around and go, hey, this wall's a little too cluttered, or did you notice you have a stain there in the roof? You know, how old's your roof? And you just have these conversations. It's really simple. They're going to ask you why you're doing this. And I always say, well, you know, I know that at some point one of your friends is going to buy or sell a home and they're going to want to use a realtor, and hopefully you'll refer me because I'm helping you for free. That's why I do this. I also want to make sure you don't get sued, because the biggest lawsuits we see are from for sale by owners, which is very true. So then I walk around the house a little more. I'll hand them some cards, and I'll say, you know, you're going to have people come through here that don't have a realtor. If they don't have a realtor, would you mind giving them my card if they're not interested in buying your house? The last time I did this, we got two $850,000 buyers. Oh, wow. It was great. Of course, it was actually the funniest one I ever did. So it was the last one I did. I walked through the door, and it's really tough to make me tongue-tied. I'm really pretty on the spot. I've been like that my whole life. I knock on this door, and this woman was probably a supermodel. She was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm like, yeah. It was really bad. I ended up staying there for 3 hours, a couple glasses of wine. We're still really good friends, and she's the one who sent me the two $850,000 buyers. Her house was listed for $850,000. It was $100,000 over price. Never got the listing. So anyways, then I finally, before I leave, I say, you know, I do work with a lot of buyers, and I do charge 3%. Is that okay? 100% say yes. No one's ever said no. They just don't want to pay 5 or 6%. That's their mentality, right? Then I leave there. I go home, and I write a handwritten note. Remember those things back in the day? They're very, very powerful. A handwritten note. It was great meeting you. And by the way, everything I say is when you find a buyer. So like when you find a buyer, I'm glad to help you with your paperwork. I can't do it for you because I'd be liable for it, but I'm glad to give you some guidance if you have some questions, right? So when you find a buyer. So my note is, you know, when you find a buyer, please reach out. I'm here to help. I'll give you a shout next week. Generally, within 1 to 2 weeks, I get the listing without getting the listing, right? Pretty simple. This is not rocket science. Really easy stuff. So I think that's all I got for me for time. Any questions for me on anything? Awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. Please, if you learn nothing today, although Cam's stuff is ridiculously awesome, get your leads out of your phone. This is the most important thing you have sitting here. You don't need to be chasing. Anybody doing Zillow? Right? You don't need to be chasing that stuff. It's all stuff that it's ridiculously expensive when you have all the business. What I found, which is really sad, is realtors will work for 20% commission is if they don't have to go find their own leads. That's not building a business. If you're working on it, and I'm not saying anything wrong with being on a team, by the way, but if you're on a team and you're working for 20% commission, you're not building your business. All right, thanks everybody. We're going to take a 5-minute break and wire Cam up, and then we go back. So say hi to the guys back there, and we'll be 5 minutes.